Oh, we gotta wait for it. And we're live. Hello, everybody. My name is Dakota Jordan. I work at the Bishop Dudley Hospitality House for one more week, and I do development and marketing here. And this is YPN Hot Seat. We have my good friend Sara Lum in the hot seat today. Sara, tell the people who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sara Lum, and I am the Program and Marketing Manager at the Zeal Center for Entrepreneurship.
Hooray. The Zeal Center is super cool. For those of us who might not know what it is, what does Zeal do?
We empower and support founders and startups in the Sioux Falls community. And we are located out kind of west of the interstate. And we have a building where businesses are incubated. And we also have a co-working space. And we also have some awesome anchor tenants that have the capacity to assist businesses as well.
Yes, it's a super cool place. If you've never been, you should go out there and check them out. Here soon-ish, hopefully. Is there any in-person events on the docket out at Zeal, Sara?
Not until probably May, but we have a pitch prep hour coming up here April 6th online over the lunch hour. Matt Paulson and Nick Harab, he's from North Dakota, will be talking about how to prepare your pitch deck for pitching a business. So yeah.
So anyone out there who is looking for some money, or if you're just looking to like practice your pitch, you can go and attend that event. So that's a cool opportunity for entrepreneurs. So they're still doing events even throughout COVID that have been really great. I just attended a marketing morning marketing party. Was that what it was called? The other day. So follow them on Facebook and be on the lookout for all things Zeal. But we're here to talk about Sara. We're not here to talk about Zeal.
We can talk about Zeal all you want. I love it.
We can talk about all of the things. So tell me what you're involved in a lot of things. You've done a lot of things. And the burning question on my mind is, what is Sara Lum most passionate about?
Well, besides like the obvious things like my community, my family, friends, work, my dog, that kind of stuff. I'd say like a consistent thing like throughout my life has just been I am really passionate about learning and being challenged and putting myself in situations where I'm always growing. And I know you're all about personal growth as well. So that's something that's really important to me.
Yeah, you went back and completed some more schooling recently, correct?
Yes, not completed yet. Okay. But yeah, I'm working on my MBA online through the University of South Dakota. So yeah, it's in progress. I should graduate sometime next year.
Awesome. Yeah. I thought you were done. I thought you had like done your internship and you were good to go. But
I can tell you after next year I'm done.
Okay, perfect. So you're going for your MBA, and what did you do your previous degree in?
So I studied architect, like my undergraduate degree is in design, but specifically architecture. And then I also have a graduate degree in architecture because you have to have a graduate degree to become an architect. So I had a non-traditional career as an architect. I started at a nonprofit research design group my first year. It was just a 1-year position. And then I actually moved back up to South Dakota to be part of the faculty at the South Dakota State University architecture department. And that was all before I went back to really get my license and experience in practice. So, but yeah, so I was an architect. I'm no longer an architect, obviously, but have learned so much from that path that I think carries forward to what I do today.
Yeah. So I would say, I have heard people in life, they have this fear of like picking something in school. And then like, if you go on and get a graduate degree and something like that you're stuck in that path. You have very much proved that is not true. You're basically on like, in some regard, like your second career. You're still young. You still have lots of life ahead of you, and you're already pursuing another degree and doing another thing. So how has that experience been different than maybe someone who took a very traditional path and just is now doing what they did out of college, and maybe they want to pivot?
Yeah. So it's not something that like I feel like everybody has to do. I think there are people who like they know what they like and they're specialists and they're going to do that for the next 40 or 50 years, before they retire or go off and do whatever they want to do next. But for me, I've always been very interested in a lot of things, and I found that I probably wasn't going to be happy doing traditional architecture practice for the rest of my career. And so the impetus to go back to study business was really just to diversify, so that I'd have a little bit more flexibility to pursue, another interest down the line. So even though like I think architecture applies to a lot of things, it's really just problem solving and critical thinking. It's kind of hard to convince someone of that when if they're looking at your resume or something like that.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I feel that way. I have a bachelor's in social work, and a lot of people look at me and they think that I have a business degree because I've been in marketing and development and these other things and starting my own business. And I'm like, no, typical job people would think of me doing is a caseworker. But I decided in college that direct service work I loved it, but it's draining and it's really, really, really hard and it doesn't pay very well either. But I would not go back, like knowing what I know now, I would not go back and get a different undergrad degree. I would still study social work, even though I'm not a social worker. I think the skills that I learned in that particular trade or education system made me better in every other role that I'm in. So you just have to convince somebody else. You have to convince the person who's going to hire you for the thing of like, it doesn't matter what degree I have a piece of paper and I'm really smart and I can solve problems. I'm a critical thinker and just let me do the job.
Yeah. No, I like that. And I think, for someone who is interested in exploring those options, it can be really scary, but like for me, taking like the small risks in my life, like have all led to some of the most like incredible experiences that like, if you didn't send that email or call that person, like would never have happened. So, even just exploring it a little bit, I think is totally worth it, even if you don't make a jump.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say is the biggest risk you've taken?
I don't know that I've taken like big risks. I've taken small risks that have led to like kind of crazy experiences. So like one example would be like, I'm a nut about basketball. Mm-hmm. So I grew up playing tons of basketball. It was, one of my passions for many years. And my dream growing up was to be a Division I basketball player. And for anybody who knows me, I'm not standing right now, but I do not look like a division, a basketball player. I'm 5'2". And so when I went to college, I really went to pursue like my academic pursuits. But I still had that passion for basketball. And I decided one day after going to a basketball game, I wonder what it would look like to walk on next year. So I sent an email to an assistant coach on a Monday and asked them, what would that look like, if I wanted to try out next year? And she said, well, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to come try out? So I went and tried out. And then on Thursday, I was on a plane to Michigan as part of the team. So like, just stuff like that. And then even my job now, like I've always been interested in Zeal. And obviously like Brienne is a huge, like, incredible person in our community. And I emailed her, back when I had an opportunity to do intern hours for my MBA. And like that led to a great experience as an intern and then obviously a full-time job. So those are actually all just little risks. They're just like making that touch point or a quick, email to someone or asking a question, putting yourself out there, which can be really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but it's usually worth it.
I've found that a lot of times it's just the courage to ask the question. Like we don't. And so I've looked, past my life, how many times have I just been scared to ask the question because I'm scared of what the answer is. And the reality is, the worst thing is no. But like, if you are refusing to ask the question in the first place, like you've already told yourself no, you didn't allow anybody else to tell yourself no. And it is a really scary thing, but I am finding more and more as I feel like I'm coming more into a bold stage in my life, like just ask the dang question, because you might get a really, really amazing result. So takeaway from Hot Seat already is have the courage to ask the question, whatever that question may be. It has worked out for Sara. I also would say it's worked out for me. So 2 people have said it. It's gotta be true. On the internet. 2 people said it on the internet. It's definitely true.
You can trust us.
100%. So let's talk about YPN and your involvement there a little bit. Tell me, when you got involved in YPN, what's your favorite event? Do you have a favorite memory? Share that with us.
Yeah, so I probably joined YPN in 2016 when we moved to Sioux Falls from Brookings, and I was working at JLG, and I would attend events here and there. Wasn't super involved. Some organizations or like positions, it's a little easier to get involved, in terms of the flexibility. But my favorite events are always the seat at the table, because I just love hearing about someone, like other people's paths, and their like how their winding road to where they're at now, and maybe that speaks to like kind of my own life a little bit. I'm like just realizing that now, like it's just interesting to hear how people progress and learn and decide to do the things that they do. And then also just like they're always insanely talented and smart people. And so I love asking them questions.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite one that you remember? Like, oh, that one was really, really good.
Oh gosh. Not off the top of my head. I don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I put you on the spot. So, I don't know what word I'm searching for here, but upcoming events. We do have a couple really amazing people coming up in our seat at the tables. I host all of the seat at the tables now, so it's also one of my favorite events, and really helped me get connected to people. I mean, it's kind of like it opens the door to people that you otherwise might not get the opportunity to talk to, which I think is a really cool opportunity of YPN, is it gives us access to people and like direct access to hear their real story and not just who they are as cool people in the community. But Tamian Dysart, who is a personal mentor of mine, also the co-founder of Think 3D. He's also on the chamber board. He's super cool. He's going to be doing one here in a couple weeks. And then Walter Ports, who was also in the Zeal Co-Starters Accelerator program that I was in, that Sara also was a huge part of facilitating. He's with Helen's Plan, which is some cool software that you'll hear about. Also the skate park, which that's definitely cool. He does photography. Walter does lots of things. Walter is definitely one of those people that I feel like has a really cool path because he do a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, and he can do so many different things. I love that.
Yeah. Super involved. So those are 2 people. Be on the lookout for those upcoming seat at the tables, which is our favorite event. So we do have a question from the audience. Nichelle Lund asks, what is an opportunity risk that you have your eye on making in the near future? Ooh, good.
That's a great question. Professionally, I don't have anything specific because I'm just like soaking up and learning as much as I can while I'm at Zeal. But I also I like to be involved in a lot of different things. So one of the things I'm doing right now on the side of my full-time job is refereeing. So I referee basketball, and a long time pipe dream would be to actually referee a Division I level game. But right now, what I'm focused on is getting certified in South Dakota so that I can do varsity sports.
Sweet. That's awesome. Just one more step up to D1. You're like one way or another. If the dream is going D1, you can do that in a lot of different ways. You can play D1. You could referee for D1. You can be like, yeah, I went D1. They don't need to know that because you were a referee for D1. You just say, I went D1. I think that phrase is still honest, right? Maybe it's stretching the truth a little bit. Okay. This is also one of my favorite questions here. Tell us 3 words that describe Sara.
I would say I am creative, for sure. And I am strategic. So I love to think about the future and also think about, okay, this big dream we have, what are the steps that we need to do to get there? And then I would say I'm thoughtful.
I love those. Those are I really like those words, and I think they very much fit who I know, who you are. So, you've referenced we a couple times, and I realized probably in YPN Hot Seats, I haven't been really great at asking people like, who else are the other people in your life that are important to you? Like perhaps a husband, perhaps an adorable little tiny dog. Tell us about your family, Sara.
So I am married. I am going on, this year will be year 9 that we're
Nice,
married.
congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, my husband's name is Mike, and he is a superintendent at Journey Construction, and he does a lot of the renovations at the Avera like main campus.
Sweet.
So, yeah, and he's awesome. He can make absolutely anything, and yeah. And then we have a dog named Henry. He's kind of an old man. He's got an old soul. So that's why we named him Henry. He's 6 years old and
He's this big.
yeah, he's sadly like the center of our life.
So tiny, like the tiniest thing you've ever seen. What type of dog is he?
He's a Shorkie, so he's not like a mini anything. He was the only one in the litter, so he just never grew.
Just a little tiny
guy.
tiny thing. He is so cute. Cool. Well, thank you for telling us about our family. I realized I'm like, oh shoot, I should probably be asking people about that. So let's see. What else do we want to talk about? I want to talk about Sara has this really cool extracurricular talent. She makes really cool realistic looking plants out of paper. And I want you to talk about how the heck you got into that. Because it's so random, but it's so cool. Also, do you have any in your office that you can show us, or any of those paper ones?
I do. I can grab one. I have 3 in here.
Oh, wow. Seriously, this is like the coolest hobby ever. Like I've tried to get into like knitting before, and I'm not a hobby person. Like I can't do that. But like that is way better than a knitted scarf. Man, look at that. That looks real. How do you do that?
So it is kind of a weird hobby, but when so obviously like as an architect, like I'm creative, and sometimes we can lose sense of like I felt like I had lost sense of what really like made me excited about being creative and making things. And so at the beginning of 2020, I signed up for a monthly craft box, which is just so cool. Makes me I'm revealing what a nerd I am. But yeah, it actually was such a huge kind of thing for me last year, was just taking the time to like make stuff. And for me, it's also like a time to think, and like I feel like I get some of my best ideas, either in the shower or when I just like take the time to like slow down and make something. So yeah, so that's where it started, and then they've just turned into like fun gifts to give to people. Brian got one the other day for her birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about selling them? Is this like potential? I mean, I feel like this is the year or the last few years of the side hustle. Is paper plant making your side hustle, or is it going to be?
No, I feel like refereeing is my side hustle, and like another business that you can actually make money doing, because the issue with the paper plants is they're very labor intensive.
Yeah.
So I'd have to sell this plant for like $500 to make any money off of it.
So the labor of love is what you're saying.
Yeah.
How long did it actually take you to make that?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Probably 10 to 15 hours. But I think I could imagine like making other things. Like, so Mike and I actually want to renovate our basement and turn it into a maker space, because we both like to make. And so the plan is to eventually get like a laser cutter and stuff like that. So you could like, there's other stuff I could design and we could make that we could actually sell. This is just like a thing to do for fun.
For your mental health.
Yeah.
For like extra white space and all of that stuff. Well, that's cool. I love hearing about people's neat like hobbies like that, and I think we are kind of in an age where it's like your hobby has to become your side hustle. And then for a lot of people, they get really, really busy and then it doesn't provide like the mental health piece or the white space that it did before, because now it's a business. So
Yeah.
maybe you're just ahead of the game of everybody else. You're like, no, I'm going to be mentally well, and I'm not going to sell these plants.
I also just like that I don't have to water them. So they're just like all around easy.
Yeah, that sounds like that. I feel like there's lots of people out there that are like, oh my gosh, a plant that I can't kill. If you put water on these plants, they will die.
Yeah.
So
That's a great marketing.
These are do not water at all. I love that. We have another question from the people. Kayla asks, we're just completely switching gears here. What is your favorite Sioux Falls restaurant?
Well, I hang out in a lot of coffee shops. But as far as restaurants, I would have to say MB Haskett.
Mm.
Yeah, or Parker's, but MB Haskett is kind of like a community place for us. My husband and I, before the pandemic, went to MB Haskett every Sunday. And so it was kind of like, our weekly like moment to really just like connect and, be on the same page. And also like it's one of those places where like the wait staff and the cooks, like they're just like they become familiar faces and people So I love that as well.
Yeah. I love all of the vibes of MB Haskett. It's really a fun place to be. So let's chat a little bit. You are really into improvement and self-growth and being better every day. Tell us a little bit about that journey, how you got into it, how it started, how you are the amazing human that you are today.
Well, I think actually that journey, I think for me started in a real way as part of the MB Women's Leadership Program, which I got to do with you, which was awesome. I think that was really the first time where I took the time to slow down and think about, okay, what am I good at? Who am I as a person? And what do I want from this life I'm living? Instead of just like continuing to like barrel down the road and continue on the path, because I could have just continued to do what I was doing and probably, from the outside had like the nice title and the salary to go along with it and all that kind of stuff. But that was really a moment for me to step back and think about what do I really want? What do we want? Because it's a family thing as well. What's important to us? And really start planning for what that could look like. And really, it was the first time too where like I did some self-reflection, and learned about, the Myers-Briggs and the Strengths Finders and all that stuff, which when you first start doing it can feel like, oh, this is just kind of silly. But actually it led to a lot of, I think, internal realizations that are kind of playing themselves out now.
Yeah. The more, so I think sometimes like I've gotten really obsessed with a lot of those things because it just helps you uncover like, oh, okay, like how can I use these as tools to explain kind of some of the ways that I have done the things that I have done? Are these healthy ways to walk it through in my life? Is there things that I need to adjust? And it's just really like a self-analyzation tool. I feel like that really helps. Like you can't not necessarily like fix something, but you can't fix something or you can't improve something if you don't necessarily know what that is. And I think sometimes those things help us put a mirror in our face that are like, hey, maybe you need to move you forward to the next step of who you're going to be.
For sure. And like, even like kind of a side note, but I don't always think in the professional world that we're very good at giving people honest, like candor, like feedback. And honestly, like one of the best things I gained from an architectural education is it can be very critical and very like hard to take because it's there's no black and white answer. So you have you take a lot of criticism when you're presenting projects and stuff, but really like it only makes you better. And I think it's just something that the corporate world sometimes struggles with in terms of helping people get better.
Yeah, definitely. So you've had all these like different career paths, you've pursued different education, and are you or Michael from here originally?
I'm from Brandon originally,
And where's Michael?
and Michael's from Nebraska.
Okay. So why Sioux Falls? Why are you guys here? Why are you and tiny little Henry and Michael putting down your roots in Sioux Falls?
So I was actually telling someone this the other day when so I did my graduate school in Houston, and then then Michael and I moved to South Dakota, um, and moved to Brookings. And when we were in Brookings, I was trying to figure out, okay, how do I get architecture experience in Brookings, get my license? And at the time, there wasn't a lot of firms that you could just like get a job at.
Mm-hmm.
So we had actually started looking at moving to like a Denver or Minneapolis or a Omaha or somewhere else. But a firm moved to town that I was able to join, and then they also moved to, then eventually opened in Sioux Falls, so I was able to transfer. And when we moved to Sioux Falls, it just felt like home. My husband's like small town Nebraska guy. He grew up on a acreage, so he likes his space. He likes, grass, trees, that kind of stuff, and I do too. I like my outdoors, but I really like urban environments where I can walk to things, be close to downtown. So we have really found the best of both worlds in Sioux Falls, where um, I'm really happy and he's really happy, and there's great people here, and it's just so awesome that if you want to get involved with something, you have a passion for something, all you have to do is is really just do it, because people want to help and people want to support you.
Yeah. What are all the things that you are involved in? So obviously you're a really big part of the ZL community because you work there. We know that you referee basketball and you're obviously involved in YPN. Otherwise you wouldn't be in the hot seat. But what are some other ways that you've gotten connected or ways that you like to give back or be involved in Sioux Falls?
Yeah. So I used to be one of those people that did everything. And then at a certain point, I determined that's not sustainable. And it also, I want to be able to have an impact on the things that I'm involved with. So I've actually like kind of not backtracked, but I'm very selective about like how many things I'm involved with at once. So Zeal, YPN. I'm pretty involved in the arts and design community. I used to be on the board of the Sioux Falls Design Center, and then I'm on the Visual Arts Council right now with the city of Sioux Falls. So I like doing that kind of like public type work, and then of course refereeing. So between that and like trying to finish my degree, I have plenty of going on. But
a lot.
Yeah. So, but I definitely, actually, this was another thing from the leadership program that helped me. Like, I think I made a list of like the things that I really want to impact in my community. You know, whether it's design in the arts, or supporting young people in their pursuit of athletics, like. And so, if an opportunity that comes up related to those things, and I'm like, yes, I want to do it, then I'll jump in. But if it doesn't fit within the categories I have on this piece of paper, then I usually will just say, this sounds awesome, but I gotta pass.
Yeah, I think that is especially important. I mean, and I'm guilty of this because I would say I'm probably like the number one Kool-Aid drinker of YPN, and I think everybody knows that.
That's awesome.
Because I'm everywhere within YPN. I would say that's probably where I have most of my involvement. I am involved in other ways, but there is so much to do here that it can be overwhelming and it can be too much, and you can say yes to a lot of things and then you're really, really overwhelmed, and then it doesn't feel like you can actually give time or give as much of your brain to all of the things that you're involved with. So yeah, I think, that was something we learned in the program, wasn't it? Of like, here, kind of set your values. And if it doesn't fit within your value system or things that are really important to you, then you have to say no. Because if you're like me, and I think like you as well, you think everything is cool. You're like, I would do anything, because you can make literally everything could be fun. You're like, I could be mopping floors. And it could be fun. Like you'd find some way to make it fun. So if you're one of those people, that is a really great piece of advice is, you have to make sure it fits within your value system, not that you're just saying yes because it would be fun.
Yeah. And I think that extends like even more broadly too. Like I remember thinking about that more deeply, like, is flexibility more important to me, or is structure, is money more important than, and money is, of course, you have to sustain yourself, but like, when you start to think about taking certain risks, you have to determine how they align with those values. Would you rather be able to, start a business, or put all that risk into a really high mortgage, like those kinds of things.
Or you can do both.
Is that what you're doing, Dakota?
Yeah, I bought a house and then quit my salaried job to start a business. So
but you're approaching it, I think, in a really smart way. So
yes, and I have the great support of people like Sara at Zeal to help me start my business. And when I need help, I have an amazing community of my co-starters participants that I reach out to. So there's communities to lean on and provide support. So I feel like I have like a million other things that I want to ask you, but we typically try and keep these around 30 minutes, and we still have to do rapid fire questions because but before that, what are ways that people can best connect with you if they want to ask you more questions like I do?
Yeah, well, you can always email me. I think, Kayla had my email, and then I do have a website where I put some of my creative projects that I've worked on, mostly as an architect. I did a podcast for a year. I don't unfortunately have that content on there, but there is a lot of other like random stuff. And you can also Facebook me, Instagram me, LinkedIn. I'm not cool enough to have TikTok or any of the other stuff. So
I think I got on TikTok so I could like watch some TikToks, but I wouldn't consider myself on it. I've tried to make some reels, trying to be hip, but I'm no Gen Zer. This is a full side part here. You got a middle part.
It's funny when that all came out, because I've always had a middle part. Like I've always done it this way, and I'm like, yes, finally, for the win.
And you do. I feel like you're not a big skinny jeans wearer either. Like I feel like you always have like fun flowy pants. Sara has really cool style, guys. She always has like this really eclectic like jackets and shirts and accessories. Like when you talk about like a creative mind, like I feel like you'd be someone who would be like cast in a movie with like cool outfits and stuff.
I would be horrible in acting, but I would do it just for the clothes.
Just for the clothes. That's really cool clothes. Okay, cool. So those are all the ways that you can connect with Sara. Ask her out for coffee. Go hang out at Zeal. They have free coffee there, so you can just go hang out with her there and ask her questions. But let's do some rapid fire. Let me pull up my rapid fire questions. Oh boy. I'm going to like scroll down farther where this is like not the ones that I've done before. Okay. I think, this is the perfect one to start on. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Oh
okay.
Boy.
I really feel like I need to get like some theme music or something. We need to level up this thing. I need to call Chris over at Pinnacle Productions.
Yes. Oh my gosh. He had some sizzle.
We need a theme song. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Pancake or waffles?
Waffles.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Fair. Coffee cup or thermos?
Coffee cup.
Okay. I don't like that one. Train or plane?
Plane.
Phone or tablet?
Phone.
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Hot coffee.
Meat or vegetables?
Oh, both.
Okay. I was like, that could be a controversial answer here in South Dakota. That's like when I said I don't like rainy days, and all the farmers are like, save or spend?
Save.
Honesty or other people's feelings?
That's a hard one. I'd say honesty in the nicest way possible.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
TV or books?
Books.
Movie at home or movie at the theater?
Movie at the State Theater.
Nice. Downtown. Ocean or mountains?
Ooh, mountains.
Horror or comedy?
Comedy.
City or countryside?
City.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
I don't know how many questions I've asked you, but I'm going to ask you like 3 more. Card games or board games?
Board games.
Ooh, I feel like you'll have a good answer to this one because you're creative. Classical art or modern art?
Modern art.
Okay. Beer or wine?
Beer.
I want to ask 2 more. Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Last one. Sweaters or hoodies?
Ooh, I need some cute hoodies. So I'm gonna say sweaters, but if I had a cute hoodie, I'd go for that.
Okay. Whoever is out there with cute hoodies, Sarah up and let her know where she can find them. Oh, we got another one. Red or white wine?
Oh, white.
Oh, all right. I love that someone is participating in my this or that. That's awesome. We should have this or that's like as participant or viewer entry. That would be fun. I like that. Awesome. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for spending some time with us today and telling us about you. It was really fun to be able to do this with you. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom, best advice you've ever received?
Oh my goodness. That that is a deep question
Boom.
to end with. I don't well, this is really bad, but like I really like the Nike saying, just do it. So I'm just gonna go with that. Just do it.
Perfect. Just do it, guys. Just do it. It's Friday. This is YPN Hot Seat. This has been Sara Lum and Dakota Jordan. Just do it. We out.